ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਆਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਮੰਡਲ ਦਾ ਐਲਾਨ ਅਕਤੂਬਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਉਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਅੰਤ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਕਾਰਵਾਈ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਵਾਉਣਗੇ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਜਲਦ ਤੋਂ ਜਲਦ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਟੀਚਾ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਵਾਅਦਾ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ।
I am very pleased to be able to continue to rely on Chrystia as we do the big things that Canadians have tasked their politicians and their government to do in the coming years. I look forward to getting into it with her and with the other members of Cabinet who I'll be asking to join over the coming weeks. We will be swearing in Cabinet in the month of October. And we will be bringing back the House of Commons before the end of fall. The exact dates still to be worked out, but we are busy getting into the business of delivering on an ambitious agenda that Canadians laid out. I chose to make my first announcement a week after the election here at a vaccine clinic to emphasize that of all the different priorities we continue to have, getting through this COVID-19 crisis remains our very top priority. We're seeing right now in different places across the country significant struggles with this fourth wave, particularly in Alberta, and it looks increasingly like Saskatchewan as well. Our hearts go out to all folks who are dealing with extremely difficult situations because of this pandemic, because of this fourth wave. I can assure you that over the past week, officials at all levels of government have been engaged with their counterparts in Alberta and in Saskatchewan to offer any and all support we can offer, from equipment like ventilators that we've already begun sending out, to human resources, whether it's Canadian Armed Forces or Canadian Red Cross, whether it's facilitating the offers from other provinces who've offered to send folks to support. We will be there to support people in Alberta and Saskatchewan and anywhere across the country where people are continuing to face the challenges around COVID. But of course, the way through this pandemic, everyone knows.
ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਉੱਤਰੀ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਵਿੱਚ 24 ਘੰਟਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਧ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਫਸੇ 39 ਮਜ਼ਦੂਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਜਾਰੀ ਰਿਹਾ। ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਕਨੀਕੀ ਕਾਰਨਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਵੇਸ਼ ਦੁਆਰ ਨੂੰ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। ਮਾਈਨਿੰਗ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਵੈਲ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਬਚਾਅ ਟੀਮਾਂ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਦੇ ਸਡਬਰੀ ਤੋਂ 900 ਮੀਟਰ ਅਤੇ 1200 ਮੀਟਰ ਪੱਛਮ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਸਥਿਤ ਟੋਟੇਨ ਖਾਨ ਦੇ ਮਜ਼ਦੂਰਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈਆਂ ਹਨ। ਉਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਖਮੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਏ।
So we just made jokes and talked about all kinds of different things just to pass the time. You know, we got to know each other. Shaft crew, they were just supposed to be down for a little bit, then go back up for lunch. So their lunch was on surface. So I had stuff, so we just shared that for a bit, and then finally Mine Rescue made it down, and they brought us some granola bars and chocolate bars and stuff until they can get us something different. But it was not bad. Technology and everything, it's lit up. There's good ventilation. It's pretty safe. I mean, of course, there's accidents like this that happen and unforeseens, but for the most part, it's very safe down there. There's the safety we have implemented now, and the rules and regulations we find we follow are. I mean, I think just the cage part to go down, if somebody's claustrophobic, would probably affect them a little bit. But once you're down there, it's pretty big. Well, we didn't know how serious it was, so. At the mine, they give us in all stations when something happens in the mine. So all the miners go to a refuge station where we have water, and we have a phone that we could call up or whatever and find out. So usually we just sit still and wait to hear from control room. They let us know what's going on. But we didn't think it was going to be that long. But once we found out, we just hunkered down and made the best of it.
And everyone stayed calm?
Oh, yeah. It was, we had a good morale. And like I said, I was with 3 other guys, and we just, like I said, we just cracked jokes and kept busy and passed the time, had a nap here and there, best we can. Well, it took us, the 4 of us, luckily we were only on 1850, the other guys were down at 31. But for us, it took us 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think, to come up with like a few breaks along the way, because it is a long haul going up. So the first part of it, every 20 feet, there's a landing we could stop and rest, catch our breath. And then the other section, every 100 feet, there's a landing we could stop. But halfway up, we stop at at the 1250 level, which where there's another refuge, and there was more rescue workers there.
ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਬਿਸ਼ਪਸਨੀ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਸਕੂਲ ਸਰਵਾਈਵਰਸ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਤੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਭਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਲਈ ਰਿਕਨਸੀਲੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਦਦ ਵਾਸਤੇ $30 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਦੇਣ ਦਾ ਤਹੱਈਆ ਪ੍ਰਗਟਾਇਆ ਹੈ। ਅਜਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਲੋਕਲ ਪੱਧਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਪਹਿਲਕਦਮੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੰਡ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਰਨਗੇ। ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਭਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਦਰੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਇਲਾਕੇ ਤੋਂ ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲੈਣ ਲਈ ਉਤਸ਼ਾਹਿਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ।
Well, we met in plenary, which happens once a year. And so this past week, all of the bishops of Canada, in coming together, many of us have made apologies in our various dioceses and regions. Mm-hmm. But at this plenary, the suggestion and the need for us to sort of, with one voice as bishops in plenary, make this apology. And so it was an unequivocal apology. It was one that recognized the history, the pain and the suffering that the residential school system caused, and also our participation in it as a Catholic church.
What is that history? What do you see it as?
Well, I see it as a history that has been something that our First Nations communities have continued to carry. And as it has come to light through the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and also through our own history and experience as a church, we realized that system often created a separation from their culture, from their language, and also spirituality. And so that is trying right now among our First Nations to be reclaimed. And I think our Canadian country needs to be more aware that this history has taken many of those very important human and cultural realities away from them. As well, the government was part of establishing that system with the Indian Act. And throughout the history of Canada, that act also involves certain actions on the part of the government. But that doesn't take away from our participation as other religious bodies such as the Anglican Church and the United. Mm-hmm. We participated to that degree in the education of these children in residential school settings.
ਪਿਕਰਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਟਾਊਨ ਹਾਊਸ ਕੰਪਲੈਕਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਸ਼ੂਟਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਦੀ ਮੌਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ। ਇਸ ਮਾਮਲੇ ਦੀ ਜਾਂਚ ਹੋਮਿਸਾਈਡ ਯੂਨਿਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਰਾਤ 11:30 ਵਜੇ ਦੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇੜੇ ਚਲਾਈਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਡਰੈਗਨਫਲਾਈ ਐਵਨਿਊ ਨੇੜੇ ਟੋਂਟਨ ਰੋਡ ਤੇ ਵਾਈਟਸ ਰੋਡ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਥਿਤ ਇੱਕ ਘਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਚਲਾਈਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਿਪੋਰਟਾਂ ਮਿਲਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਦਰਹਾਮ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਮੌਕੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੀ।
Just after 11:30, members from West Division responded here to this townhouse complex. Is a fairly new residential complex. When officers arrived, they did locate one party, a male adult deceased. He was found dead as a result of gunshots. And I know that there was other occupants within that residence. We have taken into custody two parties, one adult and one young person. They are being investigated by our homicide investigators right now. And we don't have any further details on the victim as we're still waiting to do our notification to family members. And we have our forensics team right now at the residence collecting any information, any evidence that would be helpful for this investigation. So right now we are looking for any witnesses, anyone that saw anything or heard anything. If they haven't already spoken with our investigators, we urge that they contact Durham Regional Police. Sure. I know that last night we did have two people that were taken into custody at the residence, so we're not looking for any outstanding suspects that we're aware of. We have one adult and one young person in custody. This is an ongoing investigation, so right now I'm not aware of any charges against either of those two individuals. It appears to be an isolated incident. Like I said, we're not looking for any outstanding suspects. It's believed that we have in custody the people that we were looking for. So right now it is ongoing. There are no charges. Hopefully we'll have some more information as our homicide investigators move forward with this incident.
ਫੋਰਡ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਸਪਸ਼ਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਵਾਂ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਸਰਟੀਫਿਕੇਟ ਲਾਗੂ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਫਸਟ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਬਣਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਸਰਟੀਫਿਕੇਟ ਲਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਰਿਆਇਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਵੇਗੀ ਤੇ ਨਿਯਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਾਲਣਾ ਨਾ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨੈਸਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਜੁਰਮਾਨੇ ਲਾਏ ਜਾਣਗੇ।
Which really is quite unfair, and they're not getting a lot of support or clarity from the government as to what they're supposed to be doing. If you are running into a problem and dealing with a hostile individual, is it a call to 911? Is there a different avenue? Are there AHS enforcement officers going and periodically doing checks? And the details of it changes daily, which makes it even more tense for both businesses and patrons. Patrons don't also know what they're supposed to be doing. The current vaccination card is very easy to edit, so we need to see a more verifiable type of vaccination card, QR code.
ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਵਣਜ ਦੂਤਘਰ ਦੀ ਇਮਾਰਤ ਕੋਲ ਬੰਬ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੈ। ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਬੰਬ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸ਼ਖਸ ਨੂੰ ਗ੍ਰਿਫਤਾਰ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਹੈ। ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਵਣਜ ਦੂਤਘਰ ਦੀ ਇਮਾਰਤ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ੱਕੀ ਪੈਕੇਜ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੰਬ ਹੋਣ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਸ ਪੈਕੇਜ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਰ ਲਿਜਾ ਕੇ ਨਕਾਰਾ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਸ਼ੱਕੀ ਪੈਕੇਜ ਮੰਗਲਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਸਥਾਨਕ ਸਮੇਂ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਦੁਪਹਿਰੇ ਕਰੀਬ 3 ਵਜੇ ਸ਼ੇਰਬੋਰਨ ਸਟਰੀਟ ਕੋਲ ਬੱਲਰ ਸਟਰੀਟ ਦੀ ਇਮਾਰਤ ਕੋਲ ਮਿਲਿਆ। ਜਿਸ ਇਮਾਰਤ ਕੋਲ ਬੰਬ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਵਣਜ ਦੂਤਘਰ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਕਈ ਦੂਤਘਰ ਹਨ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਸਨ ਅਤੇ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਪੋਸਟ ਸਮਾਚਾਰ ਪੱਤਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਫ਼ਤਰ ਪੋਸਟ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਪਲੇਸ ਵੀ ਹਨ। ਸਥਾਨਕ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਸੜਕ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਇੱਕ ਸੂਟਕੇਸ ਪਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ। ਜਦੋਂ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਤਾਂ ਉਸਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਰੋਡ ਬਲੌਕ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਉਣ ਜਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਰੋਕ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਬੰਬ ਨਕਾਰਾ ਟੀਮ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਨਸ਼ਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਟਵੀਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਵਣਜ ਦੂਤਘਰ ਦੀ ਇਮਾਰਤ ਕੋਲ ਬੰਬ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸ਼ਖਸ ਨੂੰ ਗ੍ਰਿਫਤਾਰ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਹਾਲਾਂਕਿ ਉਸ ਸ਼ਖਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ।